Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my kitchen, Cooking with Carol Diane. What am I going to make today? Well, you already know because you read the title on either the Facebook, if you're watching me on Facebook, or YouTube. I'm going to make a homemade chicken pot pie. And gosh, I haven't done one of these in quite a little while. So I got up this morning to snow. Yep, Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Close to Easter time, and it decides to dump a little bit of snow. But where I live, at least by about 10 o'clock in the morning, it's all gone. Most of it is all gone, so that's okay too. So I thought, well, what can I fix myself to have kind of a comfort food, something that I would enjoy for a couple of days, because today is Tuesday, and the rest of the week I'm going to be planning for Easter and having company at my table. I finally got the table done. This was what I talked about when I said I was going to get rid of my glass table and get my claw-footed country table back in here, and I did. Husband likes it. He never did like that glass table. Why? I don't know. Men just don't like glass tables, I guess. So I got all that done and got it chalk painted and finished, and I have it set now for Easter, just a few little things on it for Easter, so I'm pretty set. My older son and his wife are coming down from Wyoming, so I've got to get busy and get things lined out this week, and I don't want to be doing a bunch of stuff in my kitchen of every night cooking, so this dish right here I think is going to do it. So the first thing that you need to do is start by making a nice crust to go into a pie plate. This is the one I'm going to use. It's kind of a deeper pie plate, more of a, oh gosh, I should have measured that for you. Probably a good, like a 9-inch pie plate would be, but it's deeper. So I'm going to put it in that. And I'm going to first make the crust, and then I'll jump over to my stove and show you the ingredients of what you'll need to go in this little pot pie. And hopefully it'll come out, because like I said, I haven't done this in quite a few years because I haven't had anybody around to eat a big pie anyway. And even if it all doesn't go in this pan, I'm not too worried about it. It's just me, and I'm just going to kind of wing it. So the very first thing that you'll need in making a crust is 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. So I'm going to put that in a bowl right here that I've measured out the flour. Then I'm going to take a little bit of salt, and I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you already have salted butter, then opt out not having the salt. If you don't, then go ahead and put it in, which I'm going to go ahead and put mine in. Okay, and then we're going to take 1 tablespoon of sugar, because your pie crust should have some flavor to it, and that's what this one's going to have. And we'll stir that around just a little bit. And then you're going to need some butter. Now, I'm using butter, not shortening and not lard. I told you quite a while back in my videos, I had, well, 2 different grandmas. My mother's mother cooked with shortening, and she fried everything. My dad's mom cooked with lard. She used lard in her oatmeal cookies and pastries like this of different things, and she boiled everything. So I'm going to go ahead and bypass both of them, and I'm going to go with the butter. Now, you will need 2 full sticks of butter, but you need to cut them up like this in little tiny chunks, and go ahead and put that in to the flour. Now, the way I learned how, and my mother always did it, was with a fork. You can either do that of chopping it all up and getting it into the flour, or you can use one of these. I prefer one of these, but it's your choice. The main thing that you want to do is have your butter nice and cold. Even helps to have the flour nice and cold, which mine is. A lot of times after I have filled my canister set with the flour, sugar, coffee, and tea, I will put the extra of my flour in a Ziploc baggie, and then I will go ahead and put it in my refrigerator. So this flour today is nice and cold, and so is the butter. So we're just gonna make this crust right quick and get this pie going. As I said, I'm a little excited about Easter coming up this year. Not all my kids always make it for Easter. I don't know why. They don't look at Easter like Thanksgiving. To them, it's just another day. But to me, it isn't. To me, Easter is a religious holiday, and it's a special holiday. And I just like to have a nice meal on Easter. I really do. And this year is no exception. I remember the Easter clear back, gosh, this takes me back quite a few years, in my 40s, many moons ago. But in my 40s, I joined a sorority group. And I don't remember if I was president that year or if it was the next year. I don't remember. I just remember, and with sorority groups, they are groups that do philanthropic things for your community. And of course, we always did. So at Easter time, us as a group of ladies decided that we would dye Easter eggs for the kids in town, the little kids. And we would take them and we would be bunny rabbits, and we would go and put them in the local park on Easter Sunday morning. And we told all the kids, you know, we advertised it in the paper, the whole 9 yards, that we would be doing this. And all you had to do is bring your little tyke over to the park to hunt the colored Easter eggs. And we did the cartons that hold 18 eggs, not 12. So, and we did 30 of them. So we were dyeing Easter eggs all, I think, for 2 evenings, as well as I remember. Got them all pretty, put them in the refrigerator, got all done. Woke up that morning very much like I did this morning. Woke up to a lot of snow on the ground for Easter. And I mean a good foot of snow. And it was a heavy snow. And so we get over to the park, just myself and another gal. And I said, well, now what are we going to do? There's so much snow. And I was so worried that the parents wouldn't even let their kids come out, because I thought, my gosh, they're going to have to put them in snow boots to even do this today. But there were cars that decided they were going to come. So I started in and I thought, well, I guess we could, you know, just kind of clomp around. But the Easter Bunny, they would know the Easter Bunny, you know, was a human and not a bunny with all the tracks. And she looked at me, she says, no. She says, how's your throwing arm? I thought, my throwing arm? Yeah. She says, we're going to chuck these like we did, like baseballs. And we did. We took the egg out of the carton and we just started throwing in that deep snow. It was so much fun. They sank down in the snow. That was okay. And, sorry, got UPS coming at my door. Okay, I'm back again. Always, when I start my videos, I still have a little puppy, a 7-month-old little dachshund. And now he's become quite vocal. He has learned that from his sister, and he has become quite vocal with this little barking at anything, doesn't matter what it is. And if he sees my mailman, the trash truck, anything, oh my gosh, they're on it right now. Okay, so anyway, back to my little story of the Easter egg hunt. That Easter I don't think I'll ever forget, because it was a lot of fun. But I woke up to the snowstorm, and yes, kids did come, not all of them in town, because I guess it scared off some of the parents that they didn't want to go out with the cold or whatever. I don't know, have their little kids catch cold, I don't know. But there were all those Easter eggs laying in all that snow. And that was fun that year, I remember it. Easter was fun at my house when my kids were little anyway, doing their Easter baskets and letting them hunt for the eggs all over the house. Always, I had boys, not girls, and I would put little toys of some kind, not anything big deal. We would have kites that I would put in, because I would know that, you know, in a few days that we could take them down to the park and they could fly their little kite. Or they would get the little jars of, little buckets of, to blow the bubbles. We did all that kind of stuff. Or some little car, toy, or whatever I thought at the time was appropriate, and plus all the candy. So yeah, I like Easter time, and it's coming around the corner and I'm getting ready for it. Okay, so my butter now is pretty much pea size. That's what I want. And now I'm going to start adding to this. I'm going to go a tablespoon at a time, and I got it out very cold, ice cold water. So I'll put in 1, 2, stir that around. You just want enough. Here's 3. Here's 4. You just want enough to get this stuff where it's going to stick together. And it will here in a few minutes. What was that, 4? 5, 6. There we go. I went to the doctor the other day. Oh, that's always an experience, isn't it? Just for a yearly checkup, really, friends and family. Everything's okay, sort of. And I went for my yearly checkup, and I have been noticing a couple of little things that I've been doing that I told the guy that I don't think that's quite right. What do you think about that? So he's going to go ahead and do a CAT scan on me, on my brain, and see if everything's okay, which I'm sure it is. I've always checked out okay, but these doctors, you know, they like to check all areas. So if I say something stupid, ridiculous, out of the norm, I apologize. I don't even know that I'm doing it. I really don't. When I go back and look at my videos, it's like, why in the world did I say that? Like my last video, I said, and I told the doctor this, I said I called my pork baby back ribs beef ribs. I said, no, there's no beef baby back ribs, it's pork baby back ribs. I said, why in the world I did that is beyond me. I have no idea. But these are the things that they're going to hopefully figure out with me. Getting on in years, gotta go take care of the health problems. But so far I'm okay. So far I'm still standing here on 2 legs, welcoming you into my kitchen. And I'm so glad that you come in. I want to give a shout out to 2 people. First, I want to say hi to Laura. She's kind of having a rough time right now. Her mother passed away last Sunday, and I certainly know how that is. Okay, I'm going to go just a little bit more with some more water. Let me grab just a little bit here out of my refrigerator. I don't want to get it too much, and yet I want it just right. Anyway, I feel for you, Laura. I texted her and said, you know, if you need anything, just let me know, because I certainly know how that is to lose a parent. And oh my gosh, anytime it's by a holiday, you notice it even more. I knew when my mother, when she died, I was her caregiver for 3.5 years, nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when she died, we kind of knew at 83. But when my dad died, it was sudden, we didn't know. We celebrated his 70th birthday with a great big party and a great big cake. And 2 years later, he was gone. And so I know how that is with having a loved one pass on. So my heartfelt prayers and whatever she needs, just let me know. And I'll be there for you, Laura. I also would like to say hello to Lance. Hi, Lance. Someone that I hear watches all of my videos faithfully, and oh my gosh, You have no idea how I appreciate that and how much that has touched my heart. And this year, I'd like to extend an invitation that you are more than welcome, you and Sam are more than welcome to come to my house for Easter dinner if you would like, if you don't have any other plans. And come and see what this crazy Carol Diane does in her kitchen. Because you never know. Okay, so it's pliable where I can get it. And because I'm not going to put my dough in the refrigerator and keep it chilled for an hour, I'm making this right now. I want to get it done and made right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out on my counter. Just want to get just a little bit more in here. It's kind of acting up on me today. Otherwise, I would be putting this in my refrigerator in saran wrap. I don't know if any of you watched the one at Thanksgiving time when my sister was here. Now, she's got a whole different way of doing her crusts. And it took all day, if you remember, we took all day to make 3 pies. It was so much fun. But she does have a little different method than what I do. Now, I don't want to handle this very much, but I do want to get it where it is stuck together enough, like so, that I can take my pastry cutter, my knife, and cut it in half, and save that one on the side here so that I can work with this one. And I'm not concerned that it's still a little bit crumbly. I like my crust to be flaky. And I hope that this is what this one's going to be. Put some flour on. I've shown you this before about my pastry cloth and the the cloth part that goes on a rolling pin. And these things, a little sleeve. And these things are so great because it's not sticking to that rolling pin. Your dough isn't, and I like that. Now I take a little time with my pastry because I want it to come out. And you know, it's not a slam bam, thank you ma'am kind of deal. If I was doing that, I would be getting out, and I always have one in my refrigerator as a backup. Really, I do. Of the already made pie crusts in the refrigerator. But I'm not going to be doing that today because I want a little thicker of a crust. That's what I'm after, is a little thicker of a crust. And you don't really get that with those. Okay, so now we're going to take it, hopefully here, put it in my pie pan, down in here. Don't worry if it separates just a little bit. I'm not concerned about that. I always stick that back together. I just kind of want to form it. I am kind of forming it to the scallop part of this pan. I kind of like that. We'll cut off just a little bit of the edges that came overflowing just a tad here. There's not much on that part. I bet Lance is in shock right now. He's sitting there watching this thinking, did I just hear what she just said? Did she invite me for Easter dinner? Yeah, I did. I sure did. So if you'd like to come, Trevor and Christina will be here. My oldest son will be here with his wife. And I would love to have you come and enjoy my meal. Would you like to know what I'm having for Easter dinner? Hang on and let me wash my hands a minute and I'll be right back. Always have to wash up after you've worked with this kind of stuff of dough. if you find that your hands are a little dry when you go over to the sink, and I use Dawn, Liquid Dawn soap at my sink, however, for washing anything, but when it comes to my hands, I have a cute little container, which I'll grab, because I just thought about this right now, because I love birds, of course. So I have this little container right here, and what is in it is a certain type of soap. It is this Amish bar soap that I've been using for quite a while now. I bathe with this stuff. This stuff is great. It really is. They come in huge blocks like this, colorful ones. I get the pink and the green, and I think there's a yellow down here. And I do have that on my website, cookingwithcaroldiane.com, under the gadgets. I think I have it under gadgets, yeah. And it just makes your hands feel so nice. It really does. So I wanted to give a shout out to that if you've never tried that, please order it and go get it, because you will like it. You'll like it right by your sink every day. And like I said, I bathe with it. It makes your skin feel great. Back to Easter. So what am I having for my Easter dinner? This may or may not decide if they want to even come. Traditional Easter dinner, truly. I'm having the pineapple brown sugar spiral ham. I'm going to have rack of lamb with herb seasonings. I'm going to have always a great big 9x13 pan of scalloped potatoes. I'm having some sauteed green beans. I'm going to fix a small Waldorf salad. I'm having deviled eggs. You've got to have. I mean, that's kind of a must at Easter, isn't it? And I'm also going to have a little side dish of these little mini, they're called a little mini carrot stuffed pepper with cream cheese. They're really good, so I'm going to have that. I'm going to have Easter bunny rolls. Then I'm doing my surprise dessert. I won't tell you about it because I think I'm going to put that together on Friday in a video. I am going to have a chocolate cheesecake for my older son because when he was here last time, briefly popped in and popped out, I had my strawberry swirl cheesecake, and he had a little slice of that, and I don't know, it's okay, Mom, but he says, I like chocolate better. Everything with him is chocolate, so I will have the chocolate for him, for sure. So that's my Easter dinner that I'm going to have, hopefully everything. And but today, right now, for dinner tonight, and I'm sure tomorrow, maybe even lunch next day, I don't know, I'm going to be putting together this chicken pot pie. So this part of the crust is done. Of course, we're going to make the top. That's what we're going to save this part for. And what I will do while I am making the chicken part is I'll go ahead and I will take this now, put it in this bowl with some saran wrap, and put it back in the refrigerator to have it stay nice and cold until I'm ready to make the top. So let's jump over to my stove area now so I can show you what goes in this little pie pastry, okay? Okay, I'm over here at my stove area now. Now comes the fun part of putting the ingredients together for the pie. I went ahead and covered my pie crust with some saran wrap and also stuck it into the refrigerator to keep it nice and cool along with the other half of the pastry. So what you need to do is I'm going to put some butter. I'm going to put probably, I don't know, a couple tablespoons of butter in a big Dutch oven pot right here. Gonna let that melt in there. And while that is melting, I'm going to start cutting up my little chicken. These are just some chicken strips that I got at the grocery store. And I don't need very much for this little project that I'm doing. That's kind of why I got this, is that I'm going to take this chicken here. May not even need all of that, we'll see. And because these are nice that they're already cut up, look at this. That's kind of nice of the chicken, isn't it? I went the other day to get a whole cut up chicken. Nope, no such thing. No such thing. Oh, the butcher could have cut it up for me. I said, you know, I used to buy a whole cut up chicken. Not that I don't know how to cut up a chicken, I certainly do. But I don't understand why they're not showing in the stores that you can buy a whole cut up chicken. They have chicken breasts. They have a whole great big section of all of the thighs, legs, wings, but nothing of what I wanted as far as the whole chicken. Okay, so put all this down in your pan. Just little bite size, because remember your pie, when you slice the pie, just like if you were eating a cherry pie, if you slice the pie, you want the ingredients in there to not be, you know, overbearing. It's got to be where you can put it in your mouth and eat it. It really does. This one's still a little bit frozen from this morning, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's going to get cooked. I cook a lot of my meat. I really do. I cook a lot of it that it's partially frozen. And it all cooks up. It all is fine. We'll go ahead and do all of this. It's just going to be one meaty little pie, and that's all right. It's okay. At least it will be full of the ingredients. While you are making your pie crust, go ahead and turn your oven and preheat it. Get it going at 425 for your pie. You want a nice hot oven. You know, I have no idea why that's partially cooked. Well, it might have been when I was defrosting it. I'm not going to worry about those. I did put it in my microwave under defrost. Be right back after I wash my hands. Real quick, washing my hands. That is a must when you are cooking with poultry. Get my surface clean from the poultry and my knife. Big must on that. Okay. Spoon. Might have to have a spoon. I wasn't going to make this video today. I had some other things I was doing, and one of them was at just before 8:30 this morning. Our irrigation system is on a timer. And over the weekend, my husband was out there, and he was getting all that up nice and put it on the timer, but we didn't realize it was going to have this much snow. And it's going to only be 26 degrees tonight. It's going to drop. So I had to go and shut off that pump. And neighbors coming over about 4 o'clock today to do something, unhook some line for me so that things don't break and we lose that brand new irrigation pump that we have. Okay, so I want to let that cook. And I'm going to take some onion now. You know, it's really your preference on the onion. Whether you want red onion in here, whether you want a strong, stout white onion, or like with me, I like a nice yellow onion. Now, how do you know the difference, you young people? When you go to the grocery store, you're looking on the outside of the onion. If the outside is yellow, that's a yellow onion. If it's all white, of course, that's the white onion. If it's that purple color, that's your red onion. Which red onions are good, don't get me wrong. They're great in salads and all kinds of different things. But when I'm cooking, I just have always preferred a yellow onion. I don't find it to be that strong. When my son and my daughter-in-law were here last, I think it was last weekend, I don't remember what I was cutting up, and she said, "Can I help?" "Oh, sure, help in the kitchen. I'm always for that." So I said, "I'll put you in charge of cutting up the onion." No, she didn't want to do that. I said, "You don't want to cut up the onion?" "Oh, no, she never cuts up any onion." I said, "Well, what do? Use dried onion?" "Well, she just doesn't." Yeah, they have to either be already cut up or something because they make her cry all the time. I said, "Well, that is your particular onion of what you're working with." So I cut up the onion. I gave her it was a salad, I think. I don't remember. I let her do the tomatoes. We got the tomatoes. Take 2 celery stalks and cut them kind of small. They're going to go in with the meat and your onion. Why? Because you need that celery to get soft just like your onion. You need your onion to cook until it's transparent in color. And you need the chicken, of course, to get well done. Yes, that's my little cocoa bean down here that decides to get in on the act. He smells the chicken. He smells that chicken and wants some. He'll have to wait. Give him a chicken little treat, but not that. So again, this little chicken pot pie, I think is going to hit the spot with me all week. Not every day, but you know, for a good couple of days in here, I will be eating this so that I can get my Easter dinner all fixed and done. It'll be nice. It really will. You're also going to need a cup of frozen peas and a cup of carrots and the corn. Now, a couple ways you could do that. You can get the little bags that are the frozen bags, or you can get the mixed vegetables, and that's what I did. I took, well, I did have the bag of the frozen peas, but the mixed vegetables I took here, and I took out the beans. I really did. I just took out the beans for this particular recipe. So I have the corn and I have the carrots already in here. So there's a few little, one little bean I missed. So there's a few little peas in there. Who cares? It's all going to mix together. It really is. So make sure you have that. I'm going to add some garlic to this. I bought a brand new one, but you know what? I'm just going to kind of use up this one too. Might work just having my finger. My hands are clean. Are clean. I don't normally do this on a camera, but they are clean. You know, there's all kinds of cooks out there, and I've watched a ton. I really have. And some of them a good, tablespoon and a half of garlic. I like these little jars because it's already done in here, which is nice. Put the garlic in, let that cook. Wash the hands again. Wash, wash, wash. Wash, wash, wash. Okay. Now it's up to you as far as how well you want your chicken cooked. Another great idea for this is to throw all this in your Instant Pot. I showed you that on my last couple of videos, which I just love the thing. Put it all in there as far as this part of it and get your meat nice and tender. That's an option. It would only take probably, I don't know, 4 to 5 minutes to get all this nice and tender in an Instant Pot. And I'll be using mine a lot more, I really will. But this is the old-fashioned method. And I think everybody needs to learn the old-fashioned method. I really do. Add some salt and pepper. Good helping full of salt and pepper. We're going to add some thyme. If you have fresh thyme, that's great. I can't get out to my greenhouse right now. Well, I couldn't this morning because of the snow and stuff. So I'm going to say a good teaspoon of the thyme that we're going to put in there. And let that cook a little bit more. These are great meals for like a weekend to put together, or like today when it's gloomy or, you know, snow or whatever. Just a good comfort food. These are family meals if you have a larger family that you want to, you know, cook for quite a few people. And you can have this. And when people watch my videos and they say, what the heck does she do with all that food? Well, I do eat it. A few extra pounds that I promised my doctor I would give off. I really did. He was absolutely shocked. I go into this doctor, this will crack you up. I go into the doctor's office, I sit down and I wait for him. You have to tell that assistant, whoever she is, you know, your whole life story before the doctor comes in to see you. And so after I got all that done, then he comes in, and you know the first thing out of my doctor's mouth to me was, "What have you been doing with yourself lately, Diane?" What have I been doing? My mind is spinning 1,000 thoughts of thinking, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to tell you everything I've been doing. I said, well, I do a cooking show on Facebook and YouTube. You do what? I said, yeah. I said, look me up, Cooking with Carol Diane. Facebook or YouTube, and I said, I do have my website, cookingwithcaroldiane.com. Well, he was absolutely shocked at that. I said, yeah, well, that's what I do. Well, what do you cook? I said, anything and everything. Today's one of them, anything and everything. Take a can of chicken broth. It's ready for it now. I always like to see the look on people's faces, especially men. They crack me up. So I like to see that look on his face of, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not doing what he thought I was doing, I guess. I'm not sure what that was. But he thought I should be doing. Now I'm going to add the vegetables. And keep my fire going though, because we've got to get all of this hot to go into the pie. And these were frozen, of course. I've let them sit out. The longer you let them sit out at room temperature, the faster this meal is going to go. But that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and let this simmer and cook for just a little while. I'm going to grab my lid that goes to this particular pot, which I should have had out. I apologize. Because getting it down here in troubled land down there is a mistake. Okay, so we're going to let this simmer and cook just until you get all those vegetables nice and cooked, not too long, you know. You don't want to boil it or anything. Mine is on high, but I'll be turning it down to probably a medium high in there. And then I'll pop back on when it's ready to put the liquid part of it together, what makes it stick all together, and go grab my pie crust out of the refrigerator. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm jumping back on here because this has cooked quite a little while. I would say probably maybe not even 10 minutes. Is that quite a little while? It is when I'm trying to clean up the kitchen and get back on my other counter. So now what do we need for to make it thick in here? Well, the recipe calls for, let's see here. It called for 1 3/4 cup of chicken broth. I just put in the whole can. It calls for 2/3 cup of milk, which I'm going to put the milk in. And then I'm going to add some flour to thicken it up, which is 1/3 of a cup of flour to put in here. I've reserved some more milk just to be on the safe side if I needed to thicken this up just a little bit more. Or I mean, not thicken it up, but if it was too thick. Aha! Got myself on that one. And actually made Diane laugh. If you can make yourself laugh, I think you're ahead of the game. I really do. Okay, so my sauce, I don't know if you can see it in here, not quite enough. I'm going to grab, I mean, I can let it cook a little bit longer or add some more. No, it might be all right. You're just going to have to kind of keep an eye on it. You don't want it too thick. You don't want it too runny. So I think that's pretty good. So, okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to jump back over to my counter and get the pastry out of the refrigerator. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back here on my counter where I went and I grabbed my other half of the pastry so that I can get it rolled out and ready. And here is the one that we started earlier. Take this off. And it's nice and chilled now and looks great. And now I'm going to grab my ingredients. Grab them right quick. Still pretty hot. Yes. So that's what you'll need of the milk, and the flour came out, I think, just right. I really do. And I'll go ahead and start pouring it into the pie right here. Getting it all in there nice. Hot, hot pan. Very, very hot pan. Doesn't that look pretty good, huh? Right there. But it needs a top. It really does. So we'll go back to the pie pastry here. I cleaned up my flour pastry board here, or the cloth. I cleaned it out just a little bit here while I was waiting for everything. Oh yeah, this is nice and nice top that we're gonna have here. Wish you were here to smell it. I can really smell that thyme in the ingredients. If you don't care for that spice, you can leave it out. You could have it very plain of just having salt and pepper. That would be fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's your kitchen. Cook the way you want to. It'll all come out in the wash, like my mom always used to say. It'll all come out in the wash. I like to keep mine formed in the circle. Just kind of works better. You can't see it with the camera, but I have my dollops of the butter that are in the pastry now. Like I said, they're bigger than pea size because I've stretched them out, but I think this will be just fine. Get it where it's going to fit on the pie. This is where, yes, if you were cheating a little bit and you were using the pie shells that you buy at the grocery store in the box, the pills, I think they're Pillsbury. They're already round, you know, ready to go. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna get this as close as I can and kind of go from there. So we're gonna take this now and add it to the top. Just like that. Just like that. Make sure it's all down good. I usually take a sharp knife at this point. Most of the time I take a serrated one. I didn't grab that. Cut off all of this excess around here on the side of your pie. You don't need all that. I have such a surprise that I'm going to do on Friday of my dessert. I'm a little bit nervous about it, and especially if I have company. Oh my gosh, I get even more nervous. You guys may think, oh, she's a whiz at this. You know, she makes it look so simple. I try, I really do try. But I will tell you that there are times that I kind of am sweating it out thinking, oh my gosh, I hope this comes out because people are actually watching. But then again, it's like I always say, if you make mistakes in your kitchen, so what? You know, you're the one in there doing it, not the person that's watching. being critical about what you're doing. It's you that are doing it. And however you have been taught maybe how to cook different things, then that's how you're taught. But you can always learn different ways, and I think that's what these cooking videos have shown. Now I'm just going to take what I always do. I take my thumb and index finger and the other index finger, and I just squeeze it together. I'm going to squeeze on the area that this pan is anyway, the pie plate, to make my little border. This is a thicker crust of the pie crust. You're not making a blueberry pie. You're making one that has meat in here, meat and ingredients, a sauce. And so you do want a thicker crust. Otherwise your sauce would all, come out and not be good. Now we're going to add, and I can roll up, I can get rid of now my pastry cloth a little bit here to have more room. Set the pie down. We're going to put an egg wash on this, which is 1 egg. I like to add just a little bit of water to mine. Mix this up. Any pastry brush that you have, I like the ones that look just like they're a paintbrush. I get them at Harbor Freight. And I like them because there are all kinds of different sizes, and once you're done, you can just throw them away. And but if you like the silicone kind of a pastry brush, that's fine too. Like I said, whatever you're comfortable with in your kitchen, that's what I want you to do. I want you to feel comfortable in your own kitchen. I don't quite want all of that egg white in there. And cook with all the pans, all the tools in your kitchen that you like. And we all have favorites. We really do. There's a favorite spoon or a spatula or something that, you just really like, that you use over and over again. And I have mine. I have things that I like to bake with. And this is one of them. Just a paintbrush. That's the paintbrush. It's coming together, isn't it? Okay, and then I'm going to do little slits to give it just a little bit of air. Just little cut holes like this. Now, I'm going to put this in the 425 oven, and I'm going to cook it 30 minutes. Almost forgot, I had to look on my cheat sheet over there. So I will cook this, and then when it's done, I'll bring it back out to show you what it looks like so that you can make one of these too. And I hope you do, I really do. Don't be afraid of making a pie crust. If, like I said, when you're in doubt, you can go ahead and get the store-bought ones. But truly, for something like this, you want a deeper crust on. I'm going to go ahead and put mine on a cookie sheet to put in my oven, stick it in there for 30 minutes, and then I'll pop back on to show you kind of what it looks like when it's all baked and done. So from my kitchen to yours, I hope you're having a grand afternoon today. I've got some things I've got to still do outside. And Lance and Sam, keep my invite in mind, okay? Catch you later on Cooking with Carol Diane. Bye-bye now.